Heian is an in-development Roblox game inspired by Jujutsu Kaisen, and I was given the privilege of reading through their tester applications for this video, and with over 4,000, this should be a good one. I'm currently live on Twitch as of uploading this video. Subscribe, and let's get straight into it. What is your Roblox username? A. What is your Discord username? A. What is your time zone? A. What is your age? Everything is A. You really have nothing better to do with your time. This is what you choose to do. Get a job. Oh my god, that's 2. Okay. What is your age? 20. Have you tested any Roblox games before? If yes, which ones? Yes, I've tested Dragon Soul. Why do you want to be a tester for Heian? I love Jujutsu Kaisen, and there aren't enough Type Soul-like games based on other anime. What makes you stand out from thousands of other candidates? I'm a 20-year-old with autism who takes as a hyperfixation. Okay. What's one thing you would change / add to the game? More fighting styles and systems. Rate your activity on a scale from 1 to 10. 10. Have you tested any Roblox games before? If yes, which ones? No, but I wish for this to be my first. You encountered a bug during testing. How exactly would you report it? I would either DM a developer or report it to the bug report channel. Why do you want to be a tester for Heian? To make sure that they game is suitable for release and doesn't end up like Type Soul re-release with a bunch of bugs. What makes you stand out from thousands of other candidates? To be honest, probably my honesty. At least he's honest. What's one thing you would change / add to the game? Make a codes menu. No, I don't think so. I think if codes are something you want in the game, then that's not a good thing. That's just not a good thing. What is your Roblox username? Have you tested before? No. You encountered a bug during testing. How exactly would you report it? I would report that I found a bug and say if it's game breaking or not. If it's not game breaking, and explain basically how the bug works or how it triggers. Why do you want to be a tester? I like the game and I think I could help when it comes to testing the game. What makes you stand out from thousands of other candidates? Probably that I love talking to people, and that I actually like going in depth into all types of games. What aspect of the game makes it enjoyable or interests you? How the game looks, the way it feels when you play, how smooth it is, and some other stuff as well, but those are the main 3 for me. Have you tested any Roblox games before? If yes, which ones? Yes, Kagura. I love the game. It's really fun. The PvP is amazing and the PvE is amazing as well. What makes you stand out from thousands of other candidates? My age. Is that supposed to be a good or a bad thing? Because the person submitting this is 14. What aspects of a game make it enjoyable or interest you? The PvP and the PvE, there's a fair share of both. What's one thing you would change / add to the game? Nothing. The game is perfect how it is. Okay. If you think a game is perfect, but you also want to be a tester, that just means you want to play early access. In which case, I don't think you're viable to be chosen as a tester. Have you tested any Roblox games before? If yes, which ones? Type Soul, Deep Woken, blah blah blah. A little bit unprofessional. A little bit actually kind of cool that this is a Deep Woken tester, because that's a game that I would actually respect you for testing. Not in the modern day, because Deep Woken testers don't do anything anymore, but during pre-release, yeah, it's cool. Why do you want to be a tester for Heian? This game's so funny! What makes you stand out from thousands of other candidates? I can be fire anytime. What's one thing you would change? Boss difficulty. What makes you stand out from thousands of other candidates? I have great determination and much free time. What's one thing you would change? Make it easier to obtain reverse curse technique. I'm not gonna lie, that's not very detailed. Have you tested any Roblox games before? If yes, which ones? My friend's upcoming game, Undead Awakening. I'm gonna make a YT on it soon. You're gonna make a YouTube on it? A YouTube what? You're gonna make YouTube? You're gonna create YouTube for this game, like a separate website? I'm sorry, I'm being an asshole. What makes you stand out from thousands of other candidates? I wish / am that I'm going to become a creative director. I'm black, I'm 13, I rap, and I got the greatest shoe collection to ever graze the earth, and I'm very judgmental but in a helpful way. Well, nice shoe collection, I guess. Have you tested any Roblox games before? If yes, which ones? Yes, I've tested Friends games, Jujutsu Infinite, and other local. Not sure what he means by local. I wish to pursue Heian. Ever since the first open beta, I fell in love with it. I really care for the game, and will try to help it to strive, to help it become bigger than Deep Woken and Type Soul. Why do you want to be a tester for Heian? Because Heian is a super fun game I've played / grinded. I like it a lot and would love to be a tester of it. I'm very active and I got time left I want to spend on testing Heian, because it's something I like to do. There is nothing I would change since it's awesome, but I would add more grades after special grade or else the game would be too easy to outplay. Okay, there is nothing I would change, and then you immediately say something that they should change. That just cues indecisiveness, and I don't really like that response. You encountered a bug, how exactly would you report it? Record when or how the bug happens, and send it to my superiors. You don't gotta be that formal, it is a Roblox testing application, but that's funny. What makes you stand out from thousands of other candidates? I can play for hours and hours non-stop. What's one thing you would change/add to the game? Combat. What do you mean by this? What would you change about the combat? Or are you saying that you would add combat because there isn't enough? This is just a weird response. What makes you stand out from thousands of other candidates? Commitment. My resilience and free time can allow for a streamlined testing experience. The combat progression and combat are all enjoyable aspects that interest me, especially that second instance of combat. I would personally add more stuns on parries to make the flow of combat more dynamic and allow for more thought to be put into the fights that take place within the game. What makes you stand out from thousands of other candidates? I got diploma. I'm smart. I'm not shy to report any problems within the game. Okay, I just gotta ask one question. What do you mean you have a diploma? A diploma in what? A high school diploma? A college degree? What are we talking about here? Because it's not a particularly specific, and I think depending on what this diploma is on, it could mean very different things for like you being an actual useful asset for the team. Because yeah, you could have a high school diploma and that's alright, but what if you just have like a 6-year master's degree in computer science and you'd actually be a perfect fit for development team? Who knows? What makes you stand out from thousands of other candidates? I can get on at 4 p.m. and later. What do you mean? How does that make you stand out? I'm pretty sure most people who play video games play them past 4 p.m., so I don't get how this is something that makes you stand out from thousands of other people. What's one thing you would change/add to the game? Add the keybind middle mouse button. That is actually a very good change. I think every game should have fully remappable controls. For example, my game, which is in development, I keep talking too much about it and I keep spoiling things, but I want to have fully remappable controls. What's one thing you would change? I think the NPCs have a little too much health like the brutes and such. Skill issue, we don't want you on our team, buddy. What makes you stand out from thousands of other candidates and you answer nothing? Why would you answer nothing? What do you mean nothing? The entire point of these applications is to stand out from thousands of other people. Obviously, you want to be chosen. So what do you mean you provide nothing in particular? What's one thing you would change/add to the game? I would add domains, but I can't build or script. Well, that's cool, but domains are going to be added. Yes, me personally, I have tested Project Power. In addition, I contributed to the development of Age of Honor, where I assisted with coding and animating several of the in-game weapons. I would report the bugs with a clear description, steps to recreate it, the expected versus actual outcome, and provide a supporting clip or screenshot. I'd also note its severity to the developers so that way they can choose whether or not to prioritize it. I want to be a tester for Heian because I enjoy identifying issues and helping developers improve their games. I have prior testing and development experience, so I know how valuable a clear feedback is for creating a smooth player experience. Being part of Heian's testing team would let me contribute to refining the game while also continuing to grow my own skills. What sets me apart from other people is my combination of testing experience and hands-on development work. I've not only tested games like Project Power, but also contributed to the development of Age of Honor by coding in-game weapons. This gives me both a player's perspective for spotting issues and a developer's understanding of how to report them clearly, but yet effectively. If I could add one thing, it would be a clear guide to the combat system, since new players can get confused easily. For example, a tab under the book given by an NPC near the starter village could provide simple explanations and tips, helping players learn the mechanics more smoothly. I did read that in my pretentious rich voice, but that was actually a very good response, surprisingly. Have you tested any Roblox games before? If yes, which ones? Nah. Why do you want to be a tester for Heian? Cause it's my fave game. What makes you stand out from thousands of other candidates? Cause I got no life. What aspects make the game enjoyable or interest you? Black flashing. What's one thing you change or would add to the game? Rework the curse technique for Shrine. Why do you want to be a tester for Heian? Because Heian is going to be my top game for the year, and I want to be able to know what's being added to it and seeing what it is. What makes you stand out from thousands of other candidates? I really don't know. I'm not reading that, so maybe that's one. Okay, well that's the F slur for those of you who are wondering. But I've got to know what is going through the person who is like typing this out. Like what is going through your brain And what makes you think putting that in your application is, first of all, useful? Like, it's what makes you stand out from other candidates. Like, I guess, yeah, you would stand out from other candidates for being a part of the LGBTQ, but that's not necessarily going to give you a higher chance or help us in any way as a tester. So maybe applicable skills should only be listed here. Second of all, unprofessional, you know, maybe just don't include a slur in your application. I don't care if you have the right to use it or the ability to use it because you are part of that group. I just don't think it should be there. And then what's one thing you would change? I would add a jellyfish NPC. What? What makes you stand out from thousands of other candidates? I've been an editor for YouTubers, so I know what type of bugs, suggestions, etc. to look for and have had background experience. I don't get how that is applicable. So you are an editor, you're a video editor, so you know what types of bugs and suggestions to look for. How are those applicable? Maybe some explanation would help, but I don't see how that matters. I have a lot of patience, and I think I am a general Roblox over average player. What's one thing you would change? No more buggy server at server chooser, and fix the ping on most server please. Have you tested any Roblox games before? If yes, which ones? No. You encounter a bug. How exactly do you report it? DM one of the devs or post it. Why do you want to be a tester for Heian? Game's fun. What makes you stand out from thousands of other candidates and you left it blank? You couldn't even try and bullshit anything, you just left it blank. What aspects of a game make it enjoyable or interest you? Fun PvP and PvE, plus Roblox is dry at the moment. The one good thing I will say about this application is the things he would add and change were actually surprisingly specific and useful. More settings such as auto run, low graphics, invites off, leaves parties, etc. Wow, what a good addition for such a existing tester application. Let's just say that it exists. What makes you stand out from thousands of other candidates? My ability to be available at a lot of times and curiosity to test things that others wouldn't to figure out bugs and issues and balance in gameplay. What aspects of a game make it enjoyable for you? Fresh and replayable content with thought behind it, proper balance, plus enough testing to fix bugs that wasn't just slapped into the game as a panic update to keep the player count. If you encountered a bug, how would you report it? I would first see if it is repeatable, and if it is really a bug, then I would report it. What do you mean you would see if it's repeatable? The entire nature of bugs in games is that they are out of the normal performance of the game, right? Like, bugs shouldn't be happening, and they generally don't happen consistently unless your game is made on absolutely awful code. So you probably shouldn't see if it's repeatable initially. You should clip it and then maybe see if it's repeatable, because if it's not repeatable and you just assume it's not a bug from there, where does that take you? I want to be a tester because first, I love Heian. 2, I am willing to help the game become more big. How are you going to do that? What connections do you have that are going to make the game bigger? I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear your connections. Do you know the President of the United States of America? Are you friends with Infernasu or other big YouTubers? How are you going to help the game become more big? Why don't you give us some specifics, buddy? Oh my god, this is the same one. What's one thing you would change / add to the game? I would low-key change. So he's going to help the game become more big and he would low-key change. Impressive. Why do you want to be a tester? To help the game that I personally enjoy and play a part in the community. I'm very efficient with my time, and I like to find ways to break the game, such as finding overpowered combos, bugs, etc. What aspects of the game make it enjoyable? The combat system. I have 1,000 plus hours on Deep Woken, and I enjoy things like it. Oh my god! 1,000 hours on Deep Woken? For reference, I've been playing Deep Woken since release day, and I probably only have like 400 hours on that game to date. And I guarantee you at least like 3/4 of that was done during the month or 2 of release. What is one thing you would change / add to the game? Little delete dash distance, because it do so hardy to normally catch players in 1v1. I don't know what that means, I'm not gonna lie. I think he means to add a system where if you're in a 1v1 and someone's lower on health, it lowers their dash distance, because it's hard to catch people who are low and running, so I guess that's probably what he's talking about. What makes you stand out from thousands of other candidates? Nothing. What aspects of a game make it enjoyable? The combat. What's one thing you would change / add to the game? The lag, but that could be me. How detailed? Have you tested any Roblox games? If yes, was one? Blood Samurai and Rogue Blocks. I actually really liked Blood Samurai when it was early in development. I have no idea what happened to that game now. That's besides the point. I enjoy breaking down mechanics, identifying patterns, and finding ways to reproduce bugs systematically. I also understand the importance of clear communication, so I provide detailed and actionable bug reports that developers can easily work with. On top of that, I stay up to date with different gaming genres and platforms, which helps me quickly adapt to new projects. For me, what makes a game enjoyable is a strong sense of engagement and flow that comes from a combination of well-balanced gameplay mechanics, smooth controls, and clear feedback that makes the player feel in control. I also value games with rewarding progression systems, where every action feels meaningful and immersive world building that draws you in completely. Why do you want to be a tester for Heian? Because you have a lot of free time, and I like your game and I'm someone who has spent a lot of time. What makes you stand out from thousands of other candidates? I have a lot of free time, and if I encounter an error, I can report it immediately. What aspect of a game makes it enjoyable? I like block and parry mechanics, and generally fighting and building mechanics. So you want to be a tester because you have a lot of free time. And what makes you stand out from thousands of other people is you have a lot of free time. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think that makes anyone stand out, because I'm assuming most of the people applying for this generally do have a lot of free time, which is why they're testing the game. If you don't have a lot of free time, how are you gonna test the game? And that was all I'll be going over for this video. Obviously, I'm not going to go through all of them because there are 4,000 of them. I'm not doing all that. I will not be doing all that. But yeah, if you guys found these entertaining, let me know. Maybe I'll read through some more some other time. Who knows? Hope you all enjoyed. Shoutouts to YouTube members Green, Brick, Goobka, Pickle, High Card, and Drizzy, Drake Fan, and Goobka. I did that with no script. I'm very sorry. But I didn't forget anyone. I know that for sure. Check me out on Twitch. Check out the live channel where I just finished completing Hollow Knight 112%. I love you all. Have an amazing day, and goodbye.